I hate to admit it, but it seems like my editor was correct about doing a mature title after all. I don't want to be locked into doing adult gag mangas though, so let's try to expand our horizons a little here and see how fail-proof this topic is though. It's time to move on from one end of the mature title spectrum to the other and cover something a little bit more darker, and I don't mean in skin tone. This is trash. I'm not talking about the quality of the product, although it is accurate to my opinion on it. This series is called Trash. If Black Gokuro was made for mature man children like me, who thinks horny posting can be funny, Trash is made for the underage edgelords with no self-awareness. It very much belongs to the edgy and dark genre of manga. You know, the titles that have a lot of senseless gore and murder, dark imagery for the sake of it, and anti-hero protagonists who are overcompensating for something in a cool devil may care attitude. The sort of thing you would see in titles like Dead Tube, Diner, Arachnid. Well, I guess Dead Tube could be also considered as borderline revenge porn subgenre, but I'm getting off track now. Back on topic, Trash is edgy teen garbage, and back in the day, I used to love this. I thought it was the hottest shit I ever read in 2015. Well, 7 years later, in a recent revisit, I want to slap 15-year-old me in the face for liking this and introduce him to Murcielago instead. I have totally butchered that, but we're going to keep going because it's near the end of this clip. But why do I feel like that now? Well, we would have to start with the plot. The story is about two female high school assassins known as Francesca and Bullet, who uses a Francesca and a gun, respectively. The story is mainly about their misadventures doing jobs for their Yakuza boss, who's also a high school girl, and do typical stuff like fighting other over-the-top assassins, doing gang hits, and all that fun, edgy gangbanger stuff. If that hasn't sold the series to you yet, don't worry. The mangaka made sure there's a lot of eye candy to go around, all with their own traumatic backstories to make it nice and edgy for your convenience. I hate this story and its characters if I didn't make it obvious enough. It just takes itself a little too seriously for my liking. Like, bringing up Murcielago again, what I really like about that series, despite having a similar framing device and arguably similar plot beats and character stereotypes, is the fact it doesn't take itself seriously. Trash doesn't do that, and I feel like that's one of the aspects that makes me, not enjoy it. It wants you to take its story seriously when it features a guy who shoots iron needles out of his body, a chick with carbon bones and teeth, someone's wearing a body morphing bodysuit, and a little boy with magic healing blood. That's something you don't do straight laced, and yet it does it. It wants you to take it seriously, and I just can't. I'm sorry, Trash, but this isn't cool. It's laughable. I mean, come on, it's hard to not laugh at its attempts to be taken seriously. Like, okay, here's one example, and this gets a little spoilery, so I'll put up a timestamp. Bullet's backstory is this big tragic thing. She was born into a rich family, parents got killed, she was raped, and her downstairs area scarred. All that fucked up shit you could find in the book of making edgy characters. What makes this funny is the fact that she explains this to Francesca in bed, and Francesca is like, who cares? And just fucks her on the spot. Like, there's no build up at all that these guys had romantic tension or anything like that going on. The entire series at this point has depicted them as partners who put up with each other. That's the entire vibe. So for them to suddenly become lovers, just like that, is incredibly out of place and made funnier because it happens straight after we learn about the backstory of Bullet. Like, it feels like they forced the two to become lovers for the sake of keeping the series going, and I'm sorry, I hate forced relationships. You just can't slap two characters together and call them a couple, and then just be like, that's it, end of the day. Like, you need the build up to help the readers to become invested in that pairing. Something these two characters don't have. Like I said, it feels like a desperation move to keep readers interested when really they should have kept readers invested through a better arc or heck, a better storyline. There is no overarching storyline, which is fine, but I feel like at this point we need to set up a big antagonist for our group of projects to fight against. At this point in time, it feels very loose in terms of arcs. I mean, it does work for most manga, like Black Lagoon and Cowboy Bebop, but those series are carried by its characters. Trash doesn't have strong characters, so I think it should make up for that with strong storytelling, because I don't think the art is capable of doing it either. Yeah, this art direction blows. It feels very generic, kind of blends in with the rest of the titles that share the same genre. In fact, it reminds me of Gun X Clover, which is another series that just blows. Actually, let me double check if they share the same manga real quick. Okay, never mind. The Gun X Clover guy did Dead Tube, which I wasn't expecting, but okay. They did share the same artist though, so that explains it. At the end of the day, trash is exactly what's printed on the cover. Trash. It does nothing interesting, invokes no feelings in the reader, and achieves, well, nothing. If you're desperate for something to read, sure, give it a go, but don't expect anything. If you want something like this, but actually fun to read, read Murcielago. I still can't pronounce it. It does everything Trash wants to do, but better. Even the Yui aspect. That's the third time I brought up Murcielago now, so I should probably review it. Yeah, I'll add that to the agenda to be followed up on in my next big review. Like, right now, we're just working through the scripts for the small titles while the big ones stew's in the background. I also want to apologize if this one's taking a while to come out, but I caught up doing assignment catch up for TAFE. The next one shouldn't take too long to get out, but no promises. Anyway, thank you for sticking around, and I'll see you